Hi everyone, very good evening. I welcome you all to SIEM Intelligence and I welcome you all to Certified Microsoft Sentinel Analyst. I'm very sorry for last 2 days and here is a huge issue at Delhi. So suffering a lot with heavy calamity and we were suffering from even you might have seen in the in this particular news and all right. Recently, even three people have died, three IS trainees. I mean, those are preparing for this UPSC and all right. Even they got so many, they suffered a lot because of this rains and all. I was struck twice, even not twice, it's thrice actually. When Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all the 3 days, I reached home around that. I hope it is around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock early in the morning and it was something like very horrible during those days. I'm very sorry for that, first of all. So anyway, let's move on to this particular session, startup. Okay. So I will be the course instructor, and I am Vishnodhan Chandipatla, right? So and first of all, as I said, we have a SIEM intelligence in our one of the great online training provider company with respect to all SIM solutions, right? So, in this particular session, we are just going to have a small intro about the people as well as, followed by what is our scope of action and all that we are going to take care of and all that we are going to handle this particular first day, right? And most of the people are my trainees only, Shubham, Sangam, and Vivek. And Mahesh was also I think he was in SOC and all right. I think I know him personally, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So I'm very glad to be here, and as well as I'm so happy that people are again back to my session and all right, and it looks very good, and I'm really happy. So in today's session, I hope Afzal, Jatin, and I mean Shubham is also no, I know. I think Afzal is also my old trainee. I hope, and Jatin, I know. I think you are the first guy. I never met you, but don't worry. Once a group is created, people will join and we can coordinate all. Okay. So I am a basically certified enterprise architect manager with respect to central government agencies. Right now, I did my I mean I was main lead into SOC. I have more than 10 plus experience in this particular SOC and all. Okay. So one of the good concept is something like SIM solution. SIM is one of the very beautiful architecture for SOC. Though you may have so many network security device and all with you, but the SIM plays a vital role because of it has a very good capability and all. Okay, so let's talk about a good part of this particular SOC operations. Why SOC operations? Uh, SE200. Actually, Jatin is a part and parcel of, uh, this particular, yeah. CMSA is a concept of our thing, like, it is a SIM intelligence. I actually CASD that we have converted into CMSA because of the, conversion of naming convention. So as per the technology, we even converted this actual name is something like, you know, it is CASD. Okay. But yeah, and it when you see the certifications are standard and all SC200, no worry, we'll start up. Once we start up, I'll explain about how you can crack those things and all that I'm going to cover. Don't worry. Okay? Yeah. So what is actually a SIM? So why we should learn this particular SIM was a lot. Why it has a very good scope first of all and all right. As I said, we have so many security solutions, we have so many things, but you can consider to be in a home. there are lot many people, okay, but the first person, or you can say elder, has its own, a shoulder of responsibility, right? Similar to this, in a home, like elder has he has to handle everyone. There's a younger and there's a toddler. There's, you can consider to be a middler. So there are lot many people. Like I can say, for a team, SIM is something like a captain who need to manage all other different players across their, they are maybe expert in a batting or bowling, or some people are all-rounder strategists. Some are weak, some are more strong in one part. But so what captain used to do? Captain used to bring all together, and they made a team and identify the fruitful results out of that particular team, right? Similar to that, as in SOC, when we start talking about an SOC, so SOC is what actually Security Operations Center, okay? Security Operations Center, okay? So here, the concept of understanding and analyzing secure data, the concept of understanding and analyzing secure data is a first scope. So, what is the security? What is the security? The security is all about to identify the suspiciousness. That's it, simply. So, what is the purpose of security? Safeguarding of your, or I mean, your assets, your organization from the, we can consider in the digital life, we can consider to be it something like safeguarding from our hackers and attackers, and we can also known as adversaries, right? So, security is all about safeguarding. Now, safeguarding our assets and organizations. This is what operation center is a, central location. Simply, it's considered to be a central location where security is getting dealt, right? So now, how we can deal with this? So in an organization, there are lot. You can consider there are lot many assets, right? You can take assets of digital assets, digital assets. You can say, you can consider to be manual as, like books, or we can say mechanical parts, mechanical machines, right? There are a lot many. Here we are here to do something known as digital asset security. Okay, so how we can do this particular digital asset security? So I hope most of the people are already into the field. I hope so. And I mean to say, people are already who know about something known as cyber security, right? Now, how many of you know what is cyber security? What is information security? How you can deal with? What is cyber security? What is information security? How you people deal with? Anyone has any idea? Cyber security is a part of information security. How many are agree with this? Jatin said cyber security is a part of information security. How many of you are agreed?
Yes, I agree.
Yes. Mahesh said he's agreeing. Vivek, what do you say?
Information security uh, majorly develops the data access, authentication, authorized individuals. So cybersecurity, on the other hand, majorly focus on protecting that information and threat attacks like ransomwares and spywares like that.
Very nice. So I can consider so you people might know, right? Why I'm explaining all this, actually, if you want to know this much better, the Sentinel, first you should know this one into a deeper side. Okay. If you know this deeper side, what is our scope of action, then understanding the tool is very easy, right? So for the day, I'm just start explaining about this thing. Why? Because if you don't know the basics, what is our actual target behind the activity, so you can't understand what you are doing actually, right? So we need a purpose of doing this operation center, that's maintaining the security operation centers, right? So most of the people might know the information security is all about simply a data, digital data security. Information is what? Data, right? So securing of digital data is all known about information security. Here we discuss, as Vivek said, we are securing from confidentiality, low confidentiality, or you can say confidentiality. We are securing from access, that is known as integrity, and making it available all the time, that is availability. So we are securing from is something like, we are putting into a confidential state, so no one can directly, without the verification of the particular person, people cannot see this data. Similarly, if you don't have that access, that is known as authorization. Authorization is something like integrity. And availability is all about your data management. Right? So, maintaining CIA. Now, what is cyber security? Cyber security, when we talk about cyber security, it is all about infrastructure security. Infrastructure security, which actually safeguard the, or we can say we can keep the data basically, right? Where we generally save the data. The infrastructure security, or we can also known as, this is the data, and this is where you are storing the data. Information security is all about the data, whereas infrastructure security is all about the devices where you are storing this data, right? Now, what are the pillars for this? We have a AAA for this, like
Authentication,
exactly
auth-
authentication,
authorization,
authorization, and finally accountability,
account.
right? So it is actually one on one, it has a direct connection. Like without authentication, you can't see the data. That is what without authentication includes validation plus verification, right? Without authentication, you can't validate the data or you can't see the data. Similarly, without authorization, you cannot alter or access the data. That is integrity management. Integrity management. Now, for each data availability, there is an accountability. Now, how many people are getting access, what they are doing, what kind of activity, everything is getting accountable, right? So, each individual is directly managing, we are managing this particular CIA and AAA respectively, right? So, basically, CIA is directly proportional. If C is proportional to I is proportional to A is proportional to A. Confidentiality is directly proportional to, if there is less confidentiality means, there is less authentication means less confidentiality. Less authorization means less integrity. Less accountability means there is a possibility chance of less availability. There is a possibility of people. If you don't maintain the accountability, then we cannot come to know how many people are coming and damaging this particular data, so that the data will not be available. Right? So now we come to know there is a cyber security and information security, and we are dealing these two to safeguard. Now, when we start talking about these two, again I divided this into four parts. Information security and cyber security divided into two parts. Okay, first is cyber security, part 1, cyber security, part 2. Similarly, infosec, part 1, infosec, part 2. Now, when I'm talking about cyber security part 1 here, all the devices where we used to store the data. Let's say a computer, a server, a router, a switch, right? Hub. What else? What else? Computer servers, lab.
Firewalls.
No. Do you store data in firewalls?
No, 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 no. Databases.
Do you,
Database servers.
is database is a hardware?
No, no, it's a software actually.
Yeah. Okay. Now on more or less you can take a server. Again, there are multiple servers. That is a different concept, of course. No? We don't require. So this is known as devices, right? All this known as we can consider to be devices, right? Then there is something called part 2 of it, secure devices, or we can say security devices. Like Vivek said, right? Firewall, right? Then there is something called WAF. There's something called UTM. There's something called what else?
Proxy.
IDS, IPS, proxy. Very good. These are known as security devices. These are known as devices where you store the data which secures by using this particular WAF, UTM, IDS, IPS, proxy. Right? Now on the other side, the devices which stores the data, right? Data. This is not now data. Now what kind of data you can consider? Databases like users, computer store data like AD services, DNS services, DHCP services, all services, web, file, all these are data, right? Where you are storing the data, user data, DNS data, DHCP data, web data, HTML pages, files, FTP, storage of your, archiving of your content. Or you can consider to be more like DBs, all DBs, Oracle, or MS SQL, MySQL, everything, right? What else we can think, all OS data, right? Mailboxes, yes, very good. Mailboxes, mail services, all data. These are considered to be data, right? Mail services. So now once there is a data, like we have a device, there is a security to device. Like data, there is a secured mechanism, right? Again, data security, right? Now, what are these data securities? DLP, right? Antivirus, malware, anti-malware solutions, DRM, digital rights management. Anything more? Classifier services. Anything more? EDR,
DAM, database access management.
data.
Database monitoring, DAM, DAM.
EDR,
Yes,
XDR,
EDR, XDR,
DAM, database access
NDR
manager.
comes under here. DAM, okay. PAM
Database.
solutions,
Yes.
PAM, DAM, all these are a part and parcel of that, okay? We can consider the PAM solution, privilege access management. DAM is a part and parcel of PAM only. Like drive solutions comes under here. Backup solution comes under here, which are actually safeguarding the data, right? But it is a service based, which is considered data security. So we have cyber security with respect to security of the devices by using security hardware. These are known as appliances, basic. You can say firewall is a part and parcel of data security because you have a software firewalls. You can say this. There is a software firewall also available. You can simply say. So we can divide this into like 4 parts. Now we have an OS, Again, OS, again, there is a vast subject, right? We have a Windows, Linux. Again, in the Linux, there is a very big environment. So DB, again, there are hundreds of databases like Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL, MariaDB, Ariel, PGSQL, PLSQL. So it's a very big. So there is, if you touch one thing, there is a very big concept itself. It is a very big concept. Now imagine these many services are running, these many situations are there. Now, how can I see all these at one location? So if you go back to early, like 1990, or you can consider to be 1999 to 1999, the early stage of your computer era, people started understand the importance of collection of logs. So what they did, they have a computer, they made a log collection here. But that particular time it was only one, and the network of these computers were very less. If at all people used to have, there's something called in a very big company, it used to be something like 20 computers. It hardly something like 20 computers in a big companies. In a very big companies like Adani, Ambani, there's such kind of company used to have 20 to 30 computers during those days. It was very costlier, and I mean in a network, right? And there was no concept of a network. There's no concept of these many attacks. But later, but they understood the concept of log collection. They started collecting on the local machines only. But for what purpose? They started actually to collect the logs to identify the issues in the system. Issues in the system like errors, diagnosis. So they want to use this particular log collection to diagnose the errors and to identify some solution for that. Later, after start collecting the logs and analyzing the logs by the this particular log, evaluators, they come to know that there's a huge amount of sensitive data start coming, right? Sensitive data. Now, what kind of sensitive data that you are able to see? You can able to something like source IP, destination IP, port, destination port, like MAC address, username, password, because those particular time they don't even a concept of encoding or encrypting kind of stuff. So MAC address, user, password, IPs, and they are even during that particular there's no much concept of session handlers. So session keys used to be available in this particular logs only. So how important information that is you're gathering, but they did not identify the real importance of that particular thing, those particular tests, right? Now what happened after something like after 1995, we can consider almost around 30 years back, almost like 30 years back, they identified the importance of these things and they started collecting by using a log archival, right? Log archival. Namely, very famous log archival is something known as Kiwi syslog. You people might know. It was a very good concept of collecting various services, data from computers into this particular syslog area. So this syslog has a concept of filters, basic filters, if conditions. So it used to give a result respectively. But the problem comes here, it used to store in a text format, dot text or a dot some doc format or something like. The problem comes here is as soon as this particular file got, I mean, it become very huge. So the Kiwi log performance become, there's a huge lag because, bringing up all the text file into the RAM and processing, identifying the data, it is something like very heavy for the Kiwi, and this particular services was, something like got so much of issue. So they I mean, they replaced by using SIM solutions. SIM, which is security information management. Okay, this security management is an upgraded version of archival, log archival, which has some extra features like it used to have a database where it stores all the data from various locations, and it is giving a filter. Okay, this much only. But the problem here again, as soon as data reaches to something like GBs, let's say it's 10 GB. Now the question comes, how to filter? Because we have now a big pond of data. This become a data lake, right? This become a data lake because I'm collecting from network devices, network security devices, data services, data security services, OS, endpoints, laptop, everything, and whatever. Like I have a mobile. I'm start collecting from. It become a data lake. It's a huge bunch of data. But by using this particular data lake, identifying something like a small, it's something like identifying is something like a small, fish without any tools. It become very tough, right, in a data lake. But some people are start identifying by various mechanism, like they used to keep some, that big one trap, and they will try to identify that. But still, this data like out of 1,000, 10,000 attacks, they may identify one attack. But still, that was an achievement. So again, it is a half of the concept only. So they bring out another mechanism that is known as SIEM, next level security event management. Again, this particular security event management has same concepts, DB, filter, but along with the filter, there's a concept called dashboard come into the picture. There's a concept of reports come into the picture. There's a concept of graph charts, pie charts, all these things come into the picture. So you got an filter option, dashboard option, report option, graph. So you have some next layer because in the phishing techniques there are lot many, but still it is a phishing technique again. It has a limited thing, right? So now how can we overcome this? So now the concept of SIEM come into the picture. Now what is SIEM? It is a combination of both security information and event management, right? So now we got both the thing. You have this both information collection as well as event collection. So now what is extra out of this? So if you have this and this, will it be same like SIM? Of course, but it has a limited features within this SIM and SM. Now there are additional added features like normalization, collation, and there's something called grouping, a concept of correlation management, all such things like CRE, correlation engine. There's something called processing. There's something called AIML, ML and AI come into the picture. So, which is again added off to this dashboard with dynamic features. reports with mailing features, graphs with auto update features. So these come into the picture, which is giving a good, a updation towards this particular SIM and SCM. And this become very famous. And the very known SIM in early stage of 2009, the everyone's, in tongue, it's something like, Splunk.
Splunk.
Very famous. It started, this particular Splunk project started in 2006 and it became very famous in 2007 and 8 because it was the only, log archival as well as a very good, in terms of, of course, there is a ELK, Kibana kind of stuff come into the picture, but still Splunk gives a good competition in the market. The latter, there are lot many pioneers comes. Then, in 2011, Curadar come into the picture. It become very famous. 2012, McAfee come, HP Arcside come. Like there are lot many things coming to the picture, more than 250. And there's something called in 2014. There's a MIA, we call it as a MIA, Manage Engine Event Log Analyzer. And 2015, very famous product coming, the Datadog. So these kind of stuffs come into the picture. But again, all these are considered to be on-premises SIEM solution, or we can say it is a offline SIEM solutions. Now, what is this offline solution? Why this offline solution has become unpopular? Not unpopular, we can say it become, of course, people used to have one era, like, right? If you are very young, when I was very young, I do work for more than 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, sometimes 15 hours, sometimes 10, 24 hours. Now, is it possible for me? It's not possible, right? I can work more, if I work more than for, let's say, 10 hours, I will, generally, I do get exhausted because the age not supports me. Similarly, there is an era, people who are, rule this particular SIM live, in this particular SIM solutions ruled the era with respect to log collections and identifying the attacks. Yet, yes, presently also these people are ruling, but after the market of 2019 and the that particular attacks, or you can say pandemic corona, so most of the people started moving to services like cloud, like AWS, Azure, and GCP, right? Now, like we have on-premises solutions and the attacks on on-premises, these SIM solutions are safeguarding our area, right? Similar to that. Now, cloud is a toddler. It was actually started in 2016 or 15, I think. 15, I think. The concept of cloud started in 2015. And the cloud era started by AWS, very famous. It became very famous in 2015. The AWS become very famous. The concept of Azure and GCP is still not yet, evolved. The AWS brings out VMs, missions, all these into the cloud. Now, then the market ruler, Azure come into the picture. Then the Google Cloud Platform, then IBM, then, there's a DigitalOcean. Like there are a lot many. Again, now there are more than 10 plus cloud platforms. Very, very famous cloud platforms are there. 10 plus. But the market dealers are something like, AWS, Azure, and GCP. Now again, the attackers start attacking AWS because people are converted to, this particular cloud, right? Now your data is open in the market. People will start attacking cloud. If I know the password of Sangam, I can easily access the cloud. But the concept of MFA, authentication, authenticator, everything comes together. But still, as the cloud is a toddler and this is an open platform, anyone can use this, and everyone has the source code. So people started identifying the loopholes of this cloud and started attacking and hijacking the VMs, deleting the containers, and modifying the security controls. to achieve and they started grabbing the things. Now, even some people are in a such a way, they are into a part of two. They have their own data center here, this is on-premises DC, and there is something in the Azure market, and they want to link up these two because they want to migrate from. They can't migrate because they have a very good resources at their data center, but they want some extra resources, so they started taking from the Azure, and they want to migrate these two. So they are coming from here. From here, they are actually the attackers are tunneling to on-premises DC. So this is another issue. So these come into the picture. So now the question comes: how do I monitor? Can I install these on-premises solutions? Yes, you can install. You can install in AWS, Azure, and all. But the problem here is that particular services are not giving that so important. So people start thinking of having a good cloud SIEM. They started working, and over the period of time, AWS come into the picture. They bring out with a AWS SIEM solution, AWS first SIEM solution in collaborate with Splunk. Okay, in collaboration with Splunk. Splunk Enterprise Cloud SIEM. Cloud SIEM. But after installing this particular enterprise cloud and all, we come to know that there is no much difference in that particular Splunk Enterprise Cloud SIEM. It is actually a module to your actual SIEM platform, Splunk platform. You're actually attaching one module to this, but it is not actually fulfilling this particular need of cloud SIEM. Then the market and the very next Azure come into the picture and they bring out something known as Azure Defender services. But this Azure Defender bring up only that services for Azure services only. Azure Platform Defender services. This actually started safeguarding only Azure products, which was also not actually fulfilling the cloud management or cloud security monitoring. Then later the development, Azure come up with a platform called Azure Sentinel. Azure Sentinel, and it become the first cloud native SIEM solution, which has a very huge capabilities of integrating on-premises services like on-premises data security and network security into including Azure platform and non-Azure platform, third party cloud apps, everything, right? So the Azure Sentinel brings a very beautiful front page, or we can say GUI, and which is actually works on the principle of law. Law is something known as log analytics workspace. What is this? Log analytics workspace. Okay. So this is a kind of database you can consider which has a capability to store the logs from various area, which has a capability to normalize, like as I said, which will make it into a standard format. Now the question comes: how to fetch data from this particular law? So to fetch the data or to query this law, we use one solution called query language. Like SQL, here we have a Custo query language, and it become very famous by using the name called KQL. KQL is a language again prepared by Microsoft, And which queries law? This is actually where data used to ingest from all different services like services, hardware, OS, endpoints, laptop, mobile, anything, and Azure services, anything that you are integrated to this particular Sentinel, sorry, law. Now, this you can see query language can query this particular law, right? Now we have this law where you are collecting so much of data and you are querying by using KQL, right? But this KQL is something like, it's command line, CLI mode. Now I want to see GUI. A GUI is, that is graphical user interface, is your Sentinel app, or we can consider Azure Sentinel. So this is a service actually connected with the law. This law will give you a data to this particular Sentinel in a GUI format. Now you can fetch data from Sentinel, through Sentinel, this particular law, and you can whatever you want to fetch, whatever you can fetch. Okay, that is a scope of your Azure Sentinel. Later, what happened? Of course, cloud is a very rapidly changeable kind of stuff. Azure now transferring the name of Azure to Microsoft. Now all the services, again Azure made it into two parts. Microsoft is an official services. Generally Microsoft is providing like all your Windows service, OS and all software related services that are running on Microsoft, and hardware related all running on your infrastructure and running on Azure. So that's the reason the name of Azure Sentinel now migrated as Microsoft Sentinel in October 2023. Okay. Prior to that, it used to call it as, the formal name was Azure Sentinel. Now it has changed as a Microsoft Sentinel. It is after 2023. Similarly, earlier we called Azure Defender. Now it is as is Microsoft Defender. Okay. Now again as a cloud is a rapidly converting activity and all, right? Microsoft bring out these two solutions. Microsoft Sentinel plus Azure collaborated and make it as a Microsoft XDR. Microsoft XDR. Okay. So now we are going to learn about Microsoft Sentinel in further sessions. What is actually Microsoft, because this is totally different platform. Microsoft Defender is totally, but however, you don't worry. I will talk about Microsoft Defender. Even we will configure Microsoft Defender for a collection of logs and all. Don't worry about that. But we'll not go into very deep into this particular Defender because it's not part and parcel of this particular session. But we are going to talk about Microsoft Sentinel very deeply, and I'm going to take you people into such a deep, so you can directly work it in Sentinel at L2 level directly. Okay, I can assure you that you can learn these particular things and you can understand the concept at L2 level. Okay, right? So now the question comes. We have Azure Sentinel, Azure Defender, which is formerly now known as something like Microsoft Sentinel and Microsoft Defender, and which is giving Microsoft XDR. So this is how a platform started from log collection, scope of log collection, SOC, why these assets, collecting the logs, what is the purpose of collection of log, why it is relation between CA and AA come into the picture, and what is the four different area we need to focus. and how the log is collecting various logs and all, how the sensitive data we are extracting out of these logs, and what kind of the evaluation of this particular log collections to log archival to your SIM, SEM, then SIM solution, then the SIM in 2009 is quite different from 2016. There's a concept of simplest SOAR into the picture, right? And it become next generation SIM. So all this it's it's evaluate. See, it's evolving life, right? So even we are evolving. So we are learning so many new things because we require to evolve, right? We need to be go to the next level. Similarly, cloud come into the picture. So cloud bring up with a different solution. But Sentinel become very famous in the market right now. The Sentinel is a you can say topmost leading market. Why? Because Microsoft is such a thing. People are more interested for with the smooth services, right? If you have AWS, if you want to purchase a Microsoft license in AWS, you have to pay something like 6,000 for the license. But whereas Microsoft giving very cheap of cost in your Azure platform, because Microsoft and Azure is both are same, right? Both are from the Microsoft company only. So the compatibility from this particular OS, very good example is something like you can directly connect your Microsoft OneDrive, Outlook directly to your cloud services, which is not possible in AWS, right? So that's why people are more interested to convert into Azure and Azure platforms. They want to use the Azure platform because it has a very good compatibility within the market, and it's comparatively a good, I mean, easy to manage compared to AWS. AWS somewhat a thicker in size. We can consider to be a somewhat complex to manage the services and all. Whereas Azure is very easy to manage the services and all. Okay, so this is how evolving of cloud came into the picture. Okay, then again we need to talk about one more platform that is along with the Sentinel. We should talk about another some particle when some GCP. GCP cloud, Google Cloud Platform. Google also evolving a lot. They bring out their own cloud services. People are start selling services in Google platform also. Google also bring out one more services known as Chronicle. Chronicle is also simplest source service. It is also native, cloud, SIM solution. But however, again, Google has its own limitation. But Google can also monitor on-premises, off-premises, all on-premises, cloud, and all. But it is very compatible. Azure has so many development teams, and its community is very strong, right? The community of Azure is very strong, and it has had very good opportunities to learn. And in the people are also, people are nowadays more, they don't want to go with complex structures. They want to go with the simple structures, right? They don't want to manage very complex. That's the reason people are more interested to convert their cloud solution into towards Microsoft, and Microsoft is really is doing its own, very beautifully, and they started providing so many things. So this is how a Microsoft Sentinel come into the picture from Azure Sentinel, and previously different SIEM solution, then SIEM, if you're going back. So this is a small, you can say the life of a log, an information, how an information collection starts. So now where we are at the updated version of log collection, that is Microsoft Sentinel. That's considered to be uh, cloud native SIEM solution. Now, what this particular cloud will do, the Microsoft Sentinel. This is a formally we can consider to be Azure Sentinel is a cloud native security and event management, which is also do SOAR. Now, what is this SOAR? What is the scope of this source and all? So you don't worry, as the first day, and even we have not introduced to ourselves. No worry, we will introduce one by one. over the period of time, you will come to know how this particular history, evolves and why this particular Microsoft Sentinel is to be learned rather than the other solutions, how it is globally reputed, and everything that we'll start it, right? So when tomorrow onwards, we will start understanding these concepts into the deep, and I hope this is more than sufficient for the day. I hope so. So I think the first day is okay. Afzal?
Yeah, sir. Actually, you told about this KQ language, na? So you are teaching that one or not?
Yes, yes. We are going to. I'm going to teach you. Starting from Sentinel, KQL, and also you are going to learn SIEM platform integrations, SOAR concepts, everything. Okay.
This for KQL, we need any prerequisites like we need to learn, we need to know anything about KQL or as a
I
beginner I
will
can
teach you
start.
that. You can also start as a
Okay,
beginner. You can start. I will teach you the syntax.
okay,
There are more
okay,
than
okay,
10 hours of session. Okay. I will
okay, okay.
start from the basics
Only
of.
for KQL,
Yeah,
only
everything
for
starts.
KQL.
We will start from everything, basics, because I hope you people might be worked in on-premises services. You may know, you may not know the Azure. So I will start from Azure platform itself, how to create your Azure platform. It's most important. And what is Azure platform? What is Defender? What is Defender? What is Portal? Everything will start. So as this is the first day, I have to give an introduction about the log, and that's why I have given about the explanation about the log, and followed by tomorrow we'll understand about the base basics of Microsoft Sentinel, followed by we will start installing. Sorry, we will start creating Azure Sentinel and all. Okay, got it? So
Okay, okay, got it, sir.
yeah, I hope my pace is okay and everything is in a smooth thing. I hope it's not very fast or very slow. It's okay, right? If you have anyone has any issues, just let me know. Like, okay, thank you, Jatin. Thank you so much for your thing, and I hope uh, join these sessions, inform to your teams as this is the first day. So if anyone wants to join or if those who are interested and I'll just inform to them because as today is the only introductory day, so you can inform to the people and they will also join because uh, if people are more, then we will have more joy to explain. People bring up with so many things, and I hope you people, of course, will enjoy the sessions, no doubt. With the people or without the people, the concentration and the importance that I'm giving to you people, it's remains same. It doesn't matter. But if people are more, because people used to say, right? I do inform the people. The people used to say. So I think most of the people might know Hindi and all, right? पहले क्यों नहीं बताया सर आई कुड हैव जॉइन ऐसे बोलता है तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि ऐसा वर्ड ना आए so if anyone wants to join also just intimate them and just circulate if you are interested or if anyone just broadcast this
Yeah,
so that
so just one question. So if we miss any class, we will get the recording. So
no doubt on that you will get the recordings at the end of this particular session itself.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
great. Thanks.
Every day you will get the recordings. Every day you will get the
Yeah, like so,
recording.
my duty time is at 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So that's it. Just asked that.
Sometimes
Then I
you
will
don't
join that.
worry
Thank
about
you.
that. Sometimes if you miss out, we will provide you the recordings all the time, and it is lifetime access.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. I think you are Tanya, right?
Yeah, you can call me Tanya. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I got in late.
yeah. So thank you so much. That's a great day for the day. Thank you so much, and I'm really thankful you people to join the session and be the part of this particular intelligence. This SIM intelligence is really providing a large, trainings towards team solutions, and I am really glad to be the part of this particular team. And I welcome you all to SIM intelligence, and we'll meet in tomorrow's session. Thank you so much. That's all for the day. Bye bye.